I'm here in Medjugorje and I'm with, what's your name?
Martin Donnelly.
Martin, where are you from?
I am from a little village called Lochbrickland, outside Banbridge in County Down.
Ireland.
Yes, in Ireland, yeah.
And how often have you been in Medjugorje?
This would be my fourth time in Medjugorje. Last time I was here was in October 2023, and previous to that was May 2023, and previous to that was April 2023.
Why did you come back so often?
I've always had a spiritual connection. I've had a good Catholic upbringing, so I always had my faith. Faith was always very strong, and in March 2023, just during normal praying time, I was just praying and I was just asking for God for guidance, just in life in general. And I would get a lot of messages and sort of like interlocutions. I would say use the word vision. So if I use the word vision, you'll understand I mean interlocutions.
For somebody listening, it's like knowing in the heart, a picture in the heart, like a dream, like you said.
It's basically like an interlocution. To me is like it's like sometimes you wake up from a dream and it seems so real. Yeah. But the dream seems so real, but you're not sleeping, you're awake, and it's like a dream just happens in front of your eyes. So in March 2023, I had a vision interlocution from Our Lady, and she was standing at the bottom of my bed, and she had held out 3 beautiful blue, purple sort of coloured flowers, and she'd said to me, I would like you to come to Medjugorje, and says I have a place reserved there for you. I need you there. So I thought this was beautiful, but at the same time thought my head was playing tricks with me. It was on a Tuesday, and why I remembered so clearly it was a Tuesday was because on the Tuesday night I put my bin out, and on the Wednesday the bins are for collection on Wednesday. So on the Wednesday afternoon I was bringing the bin back into the house, and my garden has just grass, no flowers in it, nothing. And there were these 3 beautiful flowers were growing in my garden. So the exact same 3 flowers, the beautiful blue, purple coloured flowers that I'd never seen before, and they were growing in my garden. So to me that was confirmation that Our Lady was present and was telling me that she wanted me there and needed me there. So I started to think about how am I going to get to Medjugorje. For years and years I've always wanted to go to Medjugorje, but I never felt the calling to go as such. So I started on my journey of will I go, or I knew I had to go. So I started my journey of going and started to make contact with a few people and a few friends that I knew had been in Medjugorje and maybe would be there, or maybe would help me on my journey to get there. So on that journey then I decided I would go, and I went on the 12th of April 2023, and the story was that I was supposed to go there, and I had a friend in Medjugorje who was going to meet me at the airport, was going to arrange my accommodation, and I set out to go for 11 days. So as the journey started, I didn't have the money to stay. I hadn't got enough money to go and stay for any period of time. So my friend said, don't worry about it, I'll get you accommodation, I'll get you picked up at the airport. So set off on my journey, and I got someone to help me book my flight online. So whenever I arrived, the first hurdle was that you have to remember, whenever you're walking in faith and you're walking with God, that Satan will attack you at every level. He'll pull at you, and I could just feel him nipping at my ankles the whole way there. Every time I tried to get to there, I kept getting pulled back, and hurdles were just in my way, just at every level. So I got as far as the airport. The first hurdle was I got as far as the airport, and the airport's lines aren't usually that busy as such, but there was hundreds of people queuing up, and I knew, and I was already tight for time, and I went to go onto my phone to get logged in, but the app wouldn't come up on my phone. Then I asked someone to help me. No one seemed to want to help me, so I jumped the queue and I went up to the front, and a girl did decide to help me in with my app. But then when she went on to the phone, she seen that it wasn't booked on. But I knew it was booked, so eventually she found it. And then whenever she brought me to the front of the queue, went to get me checked in. When I went to get checked in, she then noticed that I had booked on for 10 kilograms instead of 20. So they wanted a fee of £80 extra for my luggage. That was the first hurdle. I said I didn't have it. I physically didn't have the money with me at the time. I had a bank card with me with the Revolut card with £30 on it. So I phoned a friend who was very nice and paid the £80 to get my suitcase on through. So when I went in through security, and was going through security, never been stopped at security in my life, ever. And the next thing was they pulled me in and says, you have got something illegal in your baggage. I said, there's definitely not. So I went through and they searched everything and they found nothing. So I put it through a second time, still could find nothing. Put it through a third time, still could find nothing. So I says, could I search the items for you? So I had a jacket in it, and I'm a plumber by trade. And I had, because I'm a plumber, I would use a Stanley knife. So I had a Stanley knife that was in one of my pockets, but the lining had ripped in the pocket of my jacket, and the blade had fallen down into the lining. And I was able to find the blade, and that's what they said that the security issue was. So got that resolved. Got as far as the checkout then, was onto the plane. I'm going to go onto the plane. I said, thank you God, you've got me here now. I'm now ready for something to eat. So I got onto the plane, went to get something to eat. With my £30 on the Revolut card, they didn't take the Revolut card. So I had to travel the whole way there with no food, nothing to drink. I was hungry. So I got as far as Medjugorje. And when I got to the airport, I phoned my friend who was going to pick me up and arrange the accommodation. And I phoned my friend, he said, oh, sorry, I couldn't make it to the airport for you, just jump on a bus. I said, how do I do that? Where do I go to get the bus? What bus do I get? He said, don't worry about it, just jump on a bus. So I went, and there was only one bus there. It was a 53-seater. I got onto the bus, and I didn't realise at the time, I just knew the bus was going to Medjugorje. And the next thing, there was a lady come on the bus. It was a Marian pilgrimage. And the lady got on the bus and she started to do a head count. And there was only something like 20 odd people on the bus. So there was 20 odd, 30 seats free on the bus. She did a head count and she says, oh, there's one too many on this bus. Who is it? So I put my hand up and I said, yeah, it's me. Thinking everything would be okay. And she said, you have to get off the bus. I says, really? I says, why would I have to get off the bus? I says, because I mean, there's 25, 33 seats in this bus. We're all going to Medjugorje. We're all Christians. We're all here seeking the same thing. Our ladies took us here. Why would you want to put me off the bus? She says, health and safety, insurance, regulations, all the usual worldly things. But there's one older lady who was sitting across from me, and she says, why can't you let the gentleman come on the bus with us? There's plenty of free seats. So she made a few phone calls back to our office in wherever, Ireland or England or wherever it was. And so after a while, they were still insisting that I get off the bus. And she couldn't seem to get through or get confirmation from headquarters. So there happened to be a priest on the bus, and she asked him, she said to the priest, what do you think, Father, should we let him go on the bus? And he turned around, and it was a wee bit of sarcasm, a wee bit of fun, a wee bit of laughter. He said, he looks honest enough, so let him travel on the bus with us, he'll be okay. But just also I noticed there was a guy in the front of the bus, in front of my seat, who had a backpack, and he looked around at me, and he sort of looked at me with like, as I seen it, I could be wrong, but as I seen it was like with disgust, like, how dare you get onto our bus? That's how I read it. I could be totally wrong. So anyway, I got as far as Medjugorje, and my friend was there, and he got me accommodation, so all worked out from there, was okay. So a couple of days later, I was walking down the street, and the next thing there was a guy came across, walked across the road to me, and he said to me, he had a map in his hand, and he says, "Is there any possibility you could help me with directions?" I said, "Absolutely, no problem. If I can, I will. I'm new here, but I'll do my best." And he was looking for a certain place in Medjugorje. I didn't know where it was on the map, so I took him to a friend of mine in a restaurant in Medjugorje, and I asked my friend in Medjugorje, "Could you help this guy?" So between myself, my friend, and another third party, we decided they were trying to help this guy find the place. But while I was speaking to the guy, I said, "I recognise your face." And he says, "I recognise your face too." And he says, I says, "You were sitting in front of me on the bus." So God works in such strange ways. This is the guy that I thought was snubbing me on the bus, yet the first person there to help him was myself. So Jesus works in very strange ways. Yeah, so so then just to finish off on that story, on that aspect, I would go to the men's rosaries in Ireland, and I was in Derry about 6 weeks ago, and I would tell everybody the story of how to get to Medjugorje. But when I was in Derry, there was a lady, this is approximately 11 months later, a lady came up to me and tapped me on the shoulder at the men's rosary in Derry, and she said, "Excuse me, hope you don't mind me asking, but were you in Medjugorje last April?" I says, "I was." She says, "I was the lady on the bus that told them to let you stay on the bus." So that was the completion of the story of getting there, and that was a confirmation that this lady was there, another inspiration, another guide from God. But while I was in Medjugorje at that time, I would go to the Divine Mercy prayers at 3 o'clock, whenever I'm not away on tours or anything. And when I was in there, I was telling my story to a few people in there, and one of them happened to be a traveller lady from London. And she says, "I love your story." She says, "It's powerful how you got here, and you came in total faith, just bare naked, no money, no nothing, just walked in faith." And when I got here, when I was in the wee prayer meeting at Divine Mercy, she said to me, "Here, there's €10 for you for something to eat." I says, "No, I don't want any money, it's okay." So she said, "I insist you take it." So I took it, and I walked around to one of the restaurants, and when I was in the restaurant, I got up, I was ordered my food, got up to go to the toilet. The next thing, this guy came into the toilet behind me, and he says, "Is your name Martin?" I says, "It is, yes." He says, "My wife," this was a traveller lady's husband, so she had obviously told him the story about how I got there. He says, "I just heard that your journey, how you got here, and your struggle to get here." And he says, "Beautiful story." And he handed me €100. And he says, "That'll get you somewhere to stay and something to eat over the next few days." So so he had given me the money, so Our Lady definitely was there, definitely told me to be here.
Handing out the flowers?
Handing out the flowers, yeah, and the confirmation all along the way. And then I was planning to stay 11 days. So then as the journey went on, I met a few friends that I'd known from back home, and I told them I was due to go home on a certain date. And he says, "Why don't you stay on?" I said, "To be honest, I can't really afford to stay on." Next thing, a friend of mine said to me, he says, "Here, there's the flight booked for you for the money for a flight to stay on for another week." So as time went on, I ended up staying for 3.5 weeks from 11 days. So I loved it so much that I went back when I went home at the end of April, beginning of May, after 3.5 weeks. I then went back out again for another week. After a week at home, went back out for another week. Then I came home, and then I set my goal and went back out again for another 2 weeks in October. So that was October.
Three times?
So three times in 1 year. The 3 flowers, yeah. Maybe, yeah. So I'm back out now for my 4th time.
Why do you come back all the time?
I don't know. It's just. As a good friend of mine, Jay Flanagan, who's a country singer, as he has written a song called "A Little Piece of Heaven." It's about Medjugorje, which he says himself it wasn't him that wrote it. It was Our Lady gave him the words to write it. It's a little piece of heaven. That is why I'm here, because it is just. I tell everybody, they say, "Why do you go to Medjugorje?" I say, because it's the closest thing that you'll ever get to heaven in this world. It's just a little piece of heaven. It's where heaven touches the earth. It's where the two collide.
I think you also made the experience that when you surrender, when you listen to the inspiration of the Holy Spirit or
Oh,
that inner
absolutely.
locution. She brought you here. There's nothing to worry about money.
Not to worry about nothing, just walk in faith. As I always say to people, faith over fear. If you walk in faith, there's nothing in this world that you can't conquer. If I was to live in my own head, I'd have all the worries in the world. Thank God I don't have any worries about anything. I worry about nothing.
That's a high level of spirituality.
Yeah, I have no worries about anything.
Because you trust.
Because I walk, yeah. And I mean, I have a lot of worries, worldly worries at the moment, and always do have and always will have. But I put my faith in God, and they diminish through time. They just disappear. Absolutely. And there's something always comes, and maybe they seem bad at the time. So I say sometimes you have to go into the depths of hell to see the light. Sometimes you have to go into the darkest places to see the light. It's faith over fear always. As we say in there also, I come up with was, if you live in the head, you'll end up dead. Our only goal is to live in the soul.
As Our Lady said, live and pray from the heart.
Pray from the heart, yeah. If you're praying from the head, if you're thinking from the head, no. Has to be from the heart. Another thing I've learned through life, in general, the Bible's very important, very, very important. The Bible, which is B-A-B-L-E, the meaning of that is, this is for me, basic instruction before leaving Earth. It's our handbook. It's our handbook. It's our contract. It's our commitment to God. He's given us everything that we need just to get through life. But yet, they've all been searching other places, and I am the guiltiest one of that. I'm always searching in other places, but then I put myself back, and then I realise. So I mean, we're falling every day, but Our Lady and Jesus will pull us back up.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And how did you gain that faith, that trust?
Do you know something? Do you know something? As I say, I always had a good life. When I say a good life, it was in poverty. I grew up in a council estate. I never had anything, never had money. I can remember Mum as a single mother whenever I was only myself and my sister 4 and 5 years of age. And my mother searching under the mats for money just to buy a loaf of bread. So it was just my mother's faith, I think, just took us to mass, took us to confessions. Just never forget, she always used to say to me, whenever it was Good Friday, right, playing football with your friends or run through the fields or orchards, whatever you were doing, she'd always say to me, no matter where you are at 3 o'clock today, you make sure if you can't get to a chapel for the Stage of the Cross, you stop and pray. Those words have always stuck with me, and all throughout my life, it's just always been there. And then through life, we've had our hurdles in every aspect of life. I have fallen a lot. I walked away from the church for a long time as Eucharistic minister for 10 years, and then I fell away for maybe 10 years. But my faith was always there. It was always strong, and the calling just gets stronger and stronger every day.
Oh, amazing. You pray the rosary?
I do, yeah. I have the rosary beads in my hand, yeah.
Why do you pray the rosary?
The rosary is so powerful. As I see it, is when you're holding the rosary beads, you're holding Our Lady's hand. She's taking it to her son. I'm not going to bet it. I've had the rosary beads in my pocket from as far back as I can remember. Definitely through my older, early 20s right through to now, 30 odd years, I've always had a pair of rosary beads in my pocket, whether it's at work, whether it's out and about, it doesn't matter where I am, there's always rosary beads in my pocket, and there'll always be a pair under my pillow. So you can't go.
You feel protected?
Of course, I can't not be protected. Can't not be.
And the prayer gives you peace?
Peace of mind, yeah, peace of mind. So I find it so easy to not live in the head, or I will end up dead. So I now know the goal to live in the soul. I certainly know it's
the way to the soul, no?
Yeah. Another wee thing for the rosary beads, the awareness. The rosary beads have, I know we have 59 beads on it, but you've got the 10 Hail Marys, right? You've 10 Hail Marys. So the 10 Hail Marys, you've got, and if you're Our Father, you know, 10 Hail Marys. So you have 50 Hail Marys, which are 50 Hail Marys is your joyful mysteries, then you have your 50 Hail Marys in your Sorrowful Mysteries, and then you have your 50 Hail Marys in your Glorious Mysteries. They also represent the 150 Psalms in the Bible.
Oh, beautiful.
So I mean, there's a lot there. Yeah.
Confession? Oh, you want to say something else? Sorry.
Yeah. No, sorry. The other thing I was going to say was there's another thing too. We all run about, and I'm the most guiltiest person in this world, so I'm not judging anyone. We all run about with one of these.
Yeah.
So
you?
yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
You look around now, no matter where we are, everybody will have that. No one has their rosary beads or their Bible in this hand.
Yeah.
Nobody has their Bible in this hand. Nobody. Me, you, priests, nobody. But we've all got this.
Yeah.
Right? This is www.com, whatever, www, World Wide Web. That's Satan's Bible. That's Satan's Bible. If we were to live with God's Bible, our contract, our handbook of life, if we were living with that in our hand, I'm using the rosary beads as a symbol for the Bible. So if we're living with God's book in our hand, that's also www. But you know what the www stands for? The Word of God, which leads to the whispers, which is our interlocutions, which then lead to wisdom. So you get your www here. Satan copies everything that God has, but he can't do it in the way God does it, but he tries his best to. It's the same with the rainbow. God gave us the rainbow, most beautiful gift he's given us after the flood. With Noah, he said he'd never flood the world again, and he gave us the rainbow to symbolise that. Satan hijacked it, and he's used other means to use the rainbow.
Yes. And what is for you so beautiful? You say, I want to add maybe, interlocutions. Like you said, I prayed the rosary, and I was in getting clients. We had a company. I prayed the rosary, and I exactly got whom I should call, when I should call, Our Lady helps you.
Oh yes, it really helps. I mean, you just put your trust. You put your trust. I mean, if I was to plan who I was going to phone or who I was going to call, wow, I'd be calling the wrong people.
Yes, the wrong people.
Well, and biggest thing in life is judge no one. As I just said about the guy on the bus, the first person to help him, he was judging me, and I still didn't judge him. We judge no one.
You don't know what's behind.
We do not know what's behind anyone. We can all say, as I would always say, like we ourselves are beautiful souls created by God. We are like a trunk of a tree. But we get caught up in life so much. Doesn't matter what it is in life. Well, it's our kids, it's our partners, it's our work, it's our finances, does not matter. It's our friends. These are all branches. Too many people get caught up on the branches. Every day and every night, the branches are somebody. He said, that she said, that he said, that somebody else said. Those branches become twigs on trees, become leaves on trees, which are nothings. They fall off, they drop dead, they wither and die. You come back off the branch and come back to the root. Every day, come back to the root, because this is what we are: beautiful souls from God. We get too wrapped up in what someone else did or said, and it's nothing to do with us. We can't ever change what people say, do, or think about us. Doesn't matter what we do, say, or think. They're going to do and say and think what they want. We have to stay in your faith, stay strong.
Stay in our identity.
Stay in who you are. Yeah.
By love, by the Most High.
Yeah. And even when there's talking and when there's people saying things about you, you stand back and just observe and just say, why did they say that? Why do they need to say it? Most times when people are saying things about us or about anyone, it's usually reflections of themselves. So when I'm pointing this finger at you and I'm saying you're this and you're that, there's three pointing back at me. 1, 2, 3. Yes. You know what I mean? So.
Yes. Amazing what you're saying. So amazing. And have you always been in that identity that you loved yourself, that you knew that?
No, I wasn't.
How did you get to that identity?
Just through faith. Through prayer, through faith, just knowing. And I mean, the more faithful I became, the more faith I gained, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So it's in the giving we shall receive. The more I've given I mean, most people are see what they can take, what they can get, what they can get. I want to see what I could give, and the more I give, the more I get.
Amazing. And the more time you spend with God, the more you are going to know God.
Oh, yeah, the more you get to know God, and the more He gets to know you, and the more He is within you, the more you'll give back out to the people around you.
Yeah. And confession for you, huh?
Confession, well, I was planning to be a confession today between 5 and 6, but I think I'm here with you today that's that period of time. So I'm going to have to put that off till tomorrow, but confession is very, very important. Very important. I mean, I was at Divine Mercy today, and this morning I was in my head, I'm going to go to confessions today, what I'm going to say. I have so much to confess, we all do. And we go to confession and we talk about our trivial things. We don't talk about the main things. Most of us don't. We go, but I was at Divine Mercy today, and whenever we're there, they always read a little chapter out of Sister Faustina's diary. And I was actually sitting in at 3 o'clock today, just before the Divine Mercy started, and it went through my head. I'm going to confessions. What am I going to tell the priest today about my confessions? And the words just came straight away in the diary. So there's God Speaks Again, and it says, the words that he says, words that she said was, just be frank and be clear and say it as it is.
So beautiful what you say.
I mean,
just to add, you can still go there, priest, now after.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, absolutely. But just say it as it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, as you know and I know, when we go to a priest, we're not talking to the priest. Jesus is there, present. We're talking, he intercedes for us.
Yes.
It's the same with Our Lady. People think that, you're praying to Our Lady, you're praying to a statue. We're asking the Mother of God. No better person in this world could be asked to pray for us.
Yes. And help us on our journey.
Help us on our journey, yeah, through life. Our basic instruction before leaving Earth. I mean, life is so simple, but we make it difficult for ourselves.
It's amazing. And what would you tell, what is the beauty of the Holy Mass, the Eucharist, for you?
Well, for me, the most powerful thing for me in my life in general is Mass and is the Eucharist. When I'm there during Mass, I'm in deep meditation. I'm outside of Mass, I could be lost, I could be anything. But when I'm in Mass, I am in Mass, and I'm so deep within the Mass, especially during the consecration. And that's when I get most of my visions, my interlocutions, my messages. That's when I get most of them. They're so powerful, they're so strong, and the messages are so beautiful. I know. I mean, I actually will cry throughout Mass. I will tremble, I will shake. My whole body goes into a whole shake. The Holy Spirit is with me throughout the Mass because I know the importance of it. I mean, that is Jesus. Jesus is just there. Jesus is present so strongly.
That's for our Protestant friends, that they understand what they lose out on, no?
Yes, our Protestant friends, God love them. I mean, I have a lot of Protestant friends, and they think that we worship a statue. A statue.
How stupid. Do they think
because
we are stupid,
this is their ignorance. Yeah, brainwashing. It's their ignorance. They don't know.
Yeah.
I have many Protestant friends who I love dearly, and
Me too.
they would come to me and they would say to me, you're wrong, you're worshiping a statue, and how wrong are you, and all. And I don't comment. I just bless them and say amen. I don't even make a comment. I don't try to justify myself.
Yeah.
I don't need to. I know where I am with God, so I don't need to explain to another man or woman. And when they say or do or put things, or Facebook or things, put things up, I'll always say, bless you or whatever. I'll never condemn anything they do or say, ever. They might say, if I put something up on Facebook, for example, Medjugorje, you're away worshipping the statue, you're away worshipping, and they'll all attack me. There's 3 or 4 of them, they'll attack me constantly. But when they put something nice up, I bless them and I say, that's beautiful, that's beautiful, that's beautiful.
And I think very important, somebody gave me a good thought today. In the Bible it's written, honor your father and your mother.
Yes.
How can we not honor?
Father
that's what
and
we,
mother. Yeah.
Our Father and Mother, Heavenly Father and Mother.
Yeah.
Our Lady is the Mother of Christ. And how can we not, that's what we do, we honor her. She gave the fear, she shows us how to live in faith, walk in faith.
Yeah.
And how can you have that personal relationship? What you're talking about here, the Holy Spirit, the guidance. What would you tell people? How can they have this guidance by the Holy Spirit in their life?
Number one is faith over fear, right? But do not judge. Do not judge anyone, because we do not know people's lives. We don't know what they've went through. We do not know anything. And the biggest thing that I've seen throughout life is gossip. People talking about people that are talking about people that are talking about people that are, it's so wrong. You have to go right back to, as I always say to people, that's hearsay. Hearsay. Unless you hear it for yourself, you don't listen to it. You know what I mean? It means you know yourself. Everywhere in life, even Medjugorje, people talk and people say and people do. Just faith over fear.
And also like live your life, forget the people.
Live
Do
your,
your thing. I have no time too much to talk about people because I have so much things to do. And what is for you so special about Medjugorje? What would you tell people? Why come here?
Why I come here? Well, number one is because Our Lady asked me. That's the first thing. I've always wanted to go, but over this last 30 years I've wanted to go, but for some reason I was never drawn to it. I never felt the urge to go. That was probably the icing on the cake. Now I don't want to leave it. I mean, I came here now there was a group of us came. There's 14 of us came there, and we decided we were here for 10 days. The group have went home yesterday. I'm still here, so I'm staying for another 3 days. And whether I stay on or not, I don't know. But 3 days now at the moment. I just keep getting drawn back.
You see, always three days,
three
times,
three
days more, 3 flowers.
Yeah, everything's in
Trinity.
threes. Yeah, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Yeah, 3 nails on the cross. Yeah, 33. Jesus died. Yes.
And what can we do? What do you think? We will invite people now at the end of the interview. Come to Medjugorje, no?
Well, do you know something?
Yeah, tell me.
I've got many friends that, and as I say once again, judge not. Who am I to judge? But at all walks of life. In this world, they think they're up here, and the other ones, these ones up here, think they're down here.
Maybe hold it in there.
Yeah, I have friends that the world would think are down there. Beautiful souls that are struggling through life, and they're doing things that maybe they shouldn't be doing or whatever. But those people are now reaching out to me and want to know what's happening in Medjugorje. I'd love to go. How do I get there? I'm going to get my passport. I'm going to start saving up. I want to go. So it's touching the people that we assume aren't worthy. This place isn't for people that are healed. This place is for sinners. This is for people that are broken, for people that are, you know what I mean? These are for people that
I was broken down, biggest sinner, you know. As you said. And you get healing, you know, you get relief, you get instruction by Our Lady, as they call it, the school of Our Lady here. No?
Like I was broken, I am broken, and I always will be broken.
Yes, that's our state.
You know what I mean? But I always,
But it's you here at Divine Mercy. Be honest, authentic, frank. That's what we all have to be. In love and truth. Talk. Wow.
Stand in truth.
Stand in truth.
That's the main thing.
And you are a man who is standing in truth. Thank you for that interview.
Tom, thank you very much. It's a pleasure. Thank you.